I was standing, protesting where I've been protesting for the last 15 months at Cleveland and Fort Harrison, and a police car pulled in. It said that I was on the roadway, and obviously I wasn't on the roadway, otherwise I'd be flat as a pancake. He kept insisting it was the roadway, and I said, well, I don't know what you mean. This is the roadway. What is the ordinance that says that I can't stand here? That I can't. I'm pointing to the ground right there. He said, all right, well, I'm going to need your name. And I knew where this was going. And I said, Erika, you can call me Erika. And he goes, Erika, what? I was like, oh, you don't need my last name. I don't need to give that to you. And I kept talking. And I realized later, investigation of me, because he's trying to give information to Scientology about me. I don't know if that's actual formal police business that he's allowed to do on the clock, but indeed that did turn out to be what it was. So the second or third time he asked for my full name, and I said no, clarifying that he was going to arrest me if I didn't. They very swiftly, both officers, because another one showed up very shortly after the first one did, the officers just swung me around and cuffed me the way you see very often happens on TV. And one of the officers took a picture of me and tried to do facial recognition and try to figure out who I was. And after 25 minutes, there was nothing anywhere on the internet about me. So, which is how I purposely live my life that way. And I'm shocked actually that, yeah, I can see how friends and family might not learn anything about me, but police can't find out anything about me on the internet in 2025. But apparently I did a good job. So the time is passing, and I finally gave in, and I gave him my name, which was a huge mistake. But what else do you do in that situation? Any Scientologist who works for the jail or the police department or any related agency is going to have access to that, which I'm sure they will. I'm sure there's already a 35-page report on me in some office here somewhere. So that's essentially what the point was. I think it was a very targeted interaction with the purpose of being an arrest, because the way the police showed up, the way they spoke to me. I've talked to a lot of police officers here in the 15 months that we've been doing this, and it's never been like this. This was just a weird approach. And fast forward to the next night when we were out protesting again, when I stayed on the sidewalk, because until all the legal stuff gets some closure, I'm going to probably do that. But when other protesters were out there in the same spot, and Aaron even pushing it closer to the roadway, police showed up for another reason, and Aaron was able to ask them, is this okay for us to be standing here? And the guy's like, yeah, duh, of course. And that's what all of the police have been saying. So this guy just making stuff up doesn't mean that it's true, but he did get his way. He threatened to arrest me, which he did, threatened to take me to jail. I really was picturing that I would be showing up at the police station, being sat in an uncomfortable chair for many hours to teach me a lesson about sassing back to this officer, make me scared that I might go to jail, but then eventually they would release me with a warning. That's not what happened. I just got the full experience of, as soon as you walk in, you catch your picture taken, shoes come off, you gotta undo all your jewelry. They hand you the scrubs, the orange scrubs. You walk into a room with a female officer. You gotta take your clothes off, you gotta put the scrubs on. And you sit in a meat locker. It's probably about 40 degrees. Everywhere in the building is freezing cold, which I think is deliberate, because there's no way a fight can break out when everybody's fingers are frozen and they're in self-imposed straitjackets, because everybody has their arms inside their shirts because they're all short-sleeved clothes. So yeah, it's definitely a strategy for the jailhouse. But anyway, from one room to the next to processing, I went into processing at 9 o'clock, didn't get out till 6:30 to go to housing. And then got about an hour of rest in my upper bunk, and then went to court. When I say rest, no sleep. I really have slept about 1 hour in the last 72 hours. Court, I guess it's arraignment. That's not what they refer to it as, but I pleaded not guilty. And we'll see where that goes. So they did let me out of my own recognizance, so I did not have to host any kind of bond. If you're going to get arrested, just enjoy it. Just take it all, every step of the way, just to see what it is. Pretend like you're acting in a movie, and this is just part of it. But I will tell you, the last 4 or 5 hours before I was released, I was just in the cell block with these ladies of all walks of life. There were people like me who had just gotten in for overnight. Some people that have been here for 3 days and they're getting out tomorrow, some a week, some 2 months. But it's kind of more of a temporary place, and it's not for the people that just commit murder. So we didn't even talk too much about why you in here.
But they did ask why you were in, didn't they?
Oh yes. From the moment I walked into the jailhouse, people were doing double takes of what is she doing here? On Sesame Street, there's that one of these things it's not like the others. And that was that game throughout the jailhouse. Oh well, yeah. In every room when we went, we saw new people. They were kind of scanning. Are any of my friends being arrested tonight too? And they would pan, and then they'd stop on me, like, what? Who's she? Why is she here? I think always presuming it's DUI, because ladies like me probably are not out there committing crimes other than drinking and driving, which there were quite a few DUIs after about 10 o'clock. Most of the people that came in were not walking in a straight line. So, yeah, there was that. But I did, because that was a question. So why are you in here? Well, you see, I protest Scientology. Wait, you do what? And then I briefly explained that I got sassy with a cop. And I only can briefly explain that because I'm like, whoa, what do you mean the protesting Scientology? So I got to spend, I think, at least 45 minutes answering all those questions about Scientology. But really, I didn't want this to be all about, I was tired. I didn't want this to be all about Scientology, but we had some really great discussion. It was a really good hanging out for 4 hours like you do with your coworkers. Not at work for 4 hours, but I had a great time at that point, and delirious enough perhaps to just enjoy it. Yeah, so all good.
During my campaign, I saw you out in that same spot with signs for my campaign.
And was not arrested.
So right then I said, well, there's a woman for you. There. Forget Mary DeMoss. Yeah. This is the woman for me.
Oh, Mary. I would love to meet Mary. I know there's no chance of running into her, and they're not allowed to do what Mary did.
Yeah.
So I would love that. I would love to meet Mary. She's the boss.
Something to live for.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see if we can make your dreams come true.
Oh. We'll get in touch.
All right, well, thanks so much for
You're welcome.
staying active and doing such a great job here.
It was my pleasure.